Okay, people, let's pick up where we left off. So I have my sketch of my gripper, and yours may look like this. This is just a sketch, so I am pretty sure I'm going to change some things once I get in, but this is kind of how I'm going to go: bottom view and front view. This is the gripper in the closed position. Okay, so how do we get this from our sketch into Fusion? So first of all, I'm going to open up Fusion, and what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to save it. That way I have started the automatic save feature, and I already have a gripper design, so I'm going to call this Gripper Cup 2. Right, and you can see that there. All right, so the first thing I want to get into the model is I want to get the shunk part here, the actual gripper body, not the fingers that I'm going to design, but the gripper body and the cup. Okay, so the body can be found in Canvas. I have mine here, so I'm just going to click and drag it in here, and it's going to come in as a component, okay, which is exactly what we want. I am going to reorient this to kind of help in my design. I don't want it laying down like this. I want to design it kind of like I've sketched it. So I'm going to rotate it like that and put it in here. I didn't move it because now the center point is right in the center, which I think is going to help me out. So I'm going to leave it just like that. And now what you will do is you're going to design the cup. All right, now I've already designed the cup because I created it, so I'm going to get mine and drag and drop it in here. You can either design it as a separate part, or you can design it in this assembly. Either way, it doesn't matter, same ideal. Now I'm going to leave it like this. Because if you see, that's kind of an ideal situation for me. Basically, I just need to move it down a little bit. So I've done the calculations for how far I want it to go down, and this is very loose, but I want to move it down about, it's going to be about, let's say 120 millimeters from the very top. Okay, maybe I'll move it down a little bit more. That'll be good. Okay, so again, this is all rough draft and ballparking, so we're not worried about getting final numbers in here. And we'll leave it like that. And so what I have, the front view, there's my gripper or my body with the cup. If I look at the top view, everything is lined up just as it should. So we're kind of ready to go. So let's bring the sketch back, and you can see what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch on a plane that's going to bisect the center or go through the center of the gripper body, and then I'm going to be able to draw this kind of curvy S kind of shapey. It's not really an S, but S kind of shapey thing. And then put in my dimensions and then extrude it, and then we're going to be good to go. So I'll take you through most of that. I'm not sure that I'll take you through the end of it, maybe another video or two, but let's get started nonetheless. So let's sketch first of all, and I'm going to sketch on this plane. Like I said, we're going to go right through the middle, okay? And what I want to do, because I want to pick up the geometry here, because that's going to help me. The first thing I want to do is I want to project, and I'm going to project some of these faces. I'll project, actually let me go to this, and I'm going to project this shape and this shape, and I don't need to worry about the other. I'm just going to do one half of it, and I'm going to switch to the body, and I'll project that, and then we'll say OK, and well, maybe I turn that feature off. So let me go back to project, and project this and this We'll say OK, and there we go. Now, if I turn this off for visibility, you can see what I've projected, just the edges that I really need. I'll turn that back on so that you can continue to see what I'm doing. And now the fun starts. Let's just start sketching our design in there. Now, I'm going to start with the line, and I'm going to grab from the corner here, and even though I have kind of a curvy shape in here, I'm not going to sketch with the curves because it's just going to be extra hard. I'm going to just come down here like so. And remember, we're sketching, so we just need to go to the edge right there, and then we'll come up, go like so, and then about there, and then about there. Let me zoom in, and then finish that right there. Okay. Now, obviously, I have no idea what dimensions those are. That's fine because I'm going to add dimensions. I know that I put that at an angle so I didn't get hung up on anything in here. So let's go ahead, and now we need to move on to constraints and dimensions. So let's first get a geometric constraint. I want to make sure that this line is horizontal. Everything else is pretty much already horizontal and vertical because of the perpendicular. Everything's good there. So now let's just start adding dimensions in here. So dimensionally speaking, I think I want to make sure that this distance from here to here, and here's where you can start to use your sketch to get an idea. Right now it's 79.28 millimeters. That's about right. So I'm going to, I like that. So I'm going to round this to the next whole number and go 80. Okay. I think I will also need a construction line. So I'm going to draw, I guess I technically don't need it. But yeah, I'm going to avoid that. I don't think I need a construction line there. So, all right, so we got 80 there. Let's get the other big dimension in here from this inside to this inside dimension, and that's 56. So maybe I'll make that 50. Okay, now that kind of pulled it a little bit. Remember that when this happens, we can pull it a little bit back. You know, I don't really like that 50 right there. So I'm going to change that to 55. That looks a little bit better, and I can click and drag that back a little bit. Now, while I'm here, let's go ahead. I know the thickness of this part right here is going to have to be to the center, right? Because we want these two to meet. Oops, let's get that in there right there. So that's going to be 8 millimeters, right? So I know that's 8, and that'll get this finger halfway through, so the other finger is going to fit right there. So we'll go 8. Now, for continuity's sake, I'm just going to go 8 all the way around here as well. I know I put 10 in my sketch, but you know, that's what sketches are for, to just kind of... So we'll go 8 and 8, and then this is going to be 8 as... Whoops. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back here, and let's get the dimension in there. And we'll get that 8 as well. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's finish up. We need the height inside here, so let's go from here to here. And what do we want that to be? Right now it's 45.91, so you know what? I'm not going to do it that way. I changed my mind. I want this arm on this finger to be centered through that. So what I want to do is I want to dimension from the bottom here to the midpoint, and I'm going to hold the control. See if I can get in there. Yeah, let's try this another way. All right, I'm not picking that up. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I thought about doing before, and I didn't, and now I think I should. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint across here to the midpoint across here. Okay. Now I'm going to make that line a construction line, right? And now I want to go back and dimension from here to this line right here, and that's going to be that's locked in there at 80 at 4.975. So I need to change that a little bit. I need to figure out why that is set up that way. I believe this is over constraining it, but so let's get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that 80. Let's go back to this. We'll go from here to here, and I want to go make that 4. That way it's going to be centered through there. Okay, so that's what I wanted right there. And now we can go back and put the dimension in from this upper part of the gripper body to here. Now that's saying that it's a reference dimension, 79. So I think I'm going to have to live with that. You know, it's not ideal. I'd like it to be an even number, 70 or 80 maybe. But you know, maybe you can do better. Remember, this is just a demo. The last thing I want to do is get this in here. So let's see if we can get that dimension in there. This is going to be 44.9. So we'll make this 45. And everything is black, so we're all good to go. I'm going to finish my sketch. And now the fun starts. That was literally the hardest part of this. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and extrude it. So we'll go to a isometric mode. And actually for this, just to make things easier, I'm going to hide this stuff. Actually, I'll leave the gripper on, but I'll hide the cup. And we'll go to extrude, and I'm going to pick my shape in here. And you'll notice what I'm going to do. I want to make this as wide as my gripper jaw here. So I'm going to go to symmetric, and I'm going to go to the half length. And then where it says distance, I'm going to go to this body right there. Okay. Now it looks a little weird. Why? Well, because it joined it, right? So I want to create a new body, right? This is part of the gripper cup, so that's what it's going to be. So there's my new body right there. It all looks good. It is equal in width to the gripper jaw. I'll say OK, and then there we go. All right, so let's zoom out and see what we have, and we'll turn on our cup. And there we go. I'm going to do a couple more things, and then I'll finish this video. So now what we have to do is we need to do a couple things. So we want to round all the corners in here. Rounds or chamfer to all these things, and that's going to give us the strength. Anytime you see these sharp corners in here, these sharp edges, that's going to be a real point of weakness. So we do want to round these or chamfer them at the very least, but round probably would be preferable. But before we do that, I want to do the part that's going to grip the cup. Okay, so that's going to be another sketch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch on this surface right there. Okay, and I want to project the cup right there. So say OK, and now I'm going to turn the cup off so that I can see everything. And in fact, I'm also going to turn the gripper off. All right, so so first things first, let's get a reference line in there. So I want to draw, actually first things first, I want to offset that circle. So I'm going to offset this, and again, just for uniformity, you might choose something different. I'm going to choose 8 millimeters for the thickness of the gripper, just so everything is 8 going around. And then I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw 3 lines. I'm going to draw a line first down through the center, okay? And I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to make that a construction line. And then I'm going to draw another line here out to the edge, and then a third line down like this. Okay, so this is going to be the left and right ends of the gripper. So let's dimension these. So I want to I want to first get the dimension, the total dimension across the angle from here to here. And I'm going to make that 120. And now I want to make sure that those are even. So I'm going to do a dimension from here to here. And remember how you do this, you click on that and then you go divide by 2. And then everything is balanced. And really that's it, right? So we go finish our sketch. Let's look at what we have, okay? So now what are we going to do? We're going to extrude this shape, including the bottom. We're going to extrude it up 8 millimeters, minus 8 in this case. We don't want to cut, we want to join. And there we go, okay? So if I turn these features back on, you can see what we have. Now we have one side of the arm, in fact the right side of the gripper, that is going to be gripping the cup. I can fine-tune everything here, right? So what I'll do next is I'll add in the rounds for all these edges, the inside and outside edges. I will go ahead and round these features too. I'm going to put some chamfers on here so that everything looks good. Now, if you want to see what my finished design look like, let's go over here to my gripper cup. All right, so there's kind of my finished design. I haven't mirrored it yet, but I have one design in there. Now, as you can see, I put big rounds in here because that's going to give the strength that I want. I also rounded the edges with a smaller round, right? I think that looks good, and it also is a nice feature. And then let me get rid of the cup here. And then just so it grips it a little bit more cleanly, I chamfered the edges here. Right? Again, a small chamfer, but it just gives us so there's not any edges that are going to kind of interfere with grabbing the cup. All right. So at this point, the only thing that I have to do is I have to mirror this, and I have to add my hole for the M4 screw, my tapped hole, and then this is done. All right. So that'll be the last video that I do. All right. Thank you, and I'll post these as soon as I get them done.